we are here making forward-looking statements, and if you act on them, do so under your own responsibility. We are, so that was the disclaimer. So I move on to the presentation now. Let me start out by giving you kind of the overview of the fundamentals of gas, and then progressing the story more to the LNG, which stands for liquefied natural gas. And I hope that this will be a popular overview of the fundamentals of the LNG. And then from there we hope to be able to easily kind of co-create what that means for us going forward. So basically, gas, as Bill pointed out, is undergoing a big boom in popularity. So Bill made, as an industry veteran, I remember a point in time when it was a bit of a disappointment to hit gas whilst drilling. So oil was the real target, and it's only recently that gas is making quite a showing. So basically, as you can see, it's really rapidly growing in popularity, and that happened in the past couple of decades. So basically, why has it been so? Well, there's basically several things, most of them pragmatic. So abandoned global gas reserves. There is a lot of gas in the world. In fact, by present estimate, there's about 150 years of it, and that's what makes it the logical choice of fuel. The second thing is that it is in fact more efficient to use gas in many ways, and it does have a pretty positive carbon footprint. Bill mentioned carbon capture and storage, so this is the one area where gas has an advantage, because you can apply the CCS technology to the existing facility. So basically, yes, you can retrofit with carbon capture and storage technology. You can take existing facilities and retrofit it at cost similar to the previously installed ones. So basically, this also complements well with wind power. In other words, there are several reasons to use gas. But the one of the statistics I really want you to come away with is the fact that it's really the cheapest option to generate electricity. We have a new way of making a case for gas. We say that gas basically it has three advantages. Gas is abundant, gas is acceptable, and gas is affordable. And let me emphasize every A. By abundant, we do mean that there is a lot of gas in the world. In fact, there is 250 years worth of gas at present rate of consumption. Acceptability implies the very many different advantages of gas in terms of emissions, in terms of efficiency, in terms of how it plays well with other forms of energy. And in fact, gas is affordable. It speaks to its economic advantage. Now, I did mention LNG, and what's really LNG? LNG is the kind of technology that allows for transport of gas by ship. Let me just quickly give the fundamentals of the natural gas value chain, and I'll show you where LNG is done. Then we can discuss. We can have a more detailed discussion about where Shell stands in that and what that means for the future of Shell. So basically, gas is when it's first extracted from the ground. It comes with many things in it. It's not the kind of gas you see coming out when you open the stove. Basically, it has some solids, some oil, some water. All these need to be removed. So gas is purified. Pretty intensive process. Then the choice is made about how to transport it. Basically, you can have two choices there. You can transport via pipeline on shore to the final point where it is consumed, which can be a power installation, industry facility, or in fact a space heating or a cooking application you can have for it at home. Or you can actually liquefy the gas, and that's accomplished by cooling it at room temperature, at kind of ambient air pressure, but really cooling it to a super cool temperature of minus 160 degrees of Celsius, and loading it onto the ship where it takes a little cruise to the so-called regasification site. The regasification site is where gas is turned back to its normal gaseous state, and in that sense it can meet with the gas which was transported by pipeline and used for the same exact purposes. And this is probably the single most important slide of my part of the presentation. Because basically, in the future of gas, there is going to be a lot of LNG, and as gas grows in importance to the world energy system, so does LNG. But specifically, LNG is probably the fastest growing part of gas, certainly one of the more dynamic ones. And the projections that you can see here are an indication it's about to undergo strong double-digit growth globally. in terms of both importing countries and exporting countries. And that simply means that a lot more gas will be traveling by ship than it is today. So now let's really go through the kind of energy system side of this. What's the Bill spoke a lot about oil in his speech, but what's the difference between LNG and oil? Oil is in some ways easier to transport, so basically it requires a lot less dynamic control energy system as opposed to LNG or gas in general, because there you have to be a lot more precise about what goes into the system, and that kind of defines the properties of the system, which becomes more and more technically and technologically intensive. As a general rule of thumb in the industry, we use the guideline of 3,000 kilometers when gas moves from being cost-effective to transport by pipeline to being more cost-effective to transport by ship. And that kind of dictates the nature of the global LNG activity from where it is produced to where it is consumed. That's a much longer bridge. So just to go point by point, from the point of production, where gas is extracted from the ground, it is indeed purified and liquefied to supercool temperature. It is in fact loaded onto the ship that is transported to the so-called regasification terminal, where it is returned back to the gaseous state and sent to the final consumption point. Now, this is where I move on to Shell, because Shell happens to be one of the bigger gas operators and of the bigger LNG-specific operators, with a strong presence in every link of the value chain. And that means basically that we are one of the world's largest gas producers in the exploration and production sense. We are one of the largest LNG suppliers. We are one of the largest ship operators, not the largest. And in terms of the sheer size and the breadth of our footprint, both are substantial. Because of that, our marketing and trading activities are pretty massive as well. And actually, the final link in the chain is technology, but I must say that technology is not really a link in the chain. It's something that enables every single other link in the chain. When I started work here at this site about 6 years ago, it was pretty interesting. The site was moving from one location to another one, and then I was involved in the signing of the contract that kind of created this whole facility, and it's pretty pleasing to see how technology intensive this has become, because Shell relies on technology heavily. We do invest a lot of technology, and we bring a lot of technology to market, and we use it in all of our operations. And it will be increasingly more important going forward. We have been operating quite some LNG projects and assets worldwide, basically safely and sustainably. What we see certainly LNG as a growth area that will be increasingly important from bringing gas, even including to Europe, for example, from various destinations. So that's one key message.